Hello viewers, welcome to Plan B with Anthony Kirori. This show where we seek alternative solutions to major problems that affect me and you. Today we are going to look at matters food security in this country and ask ourselves, is GMO the only way to go? Anthony, what is a Plan B?
Hello viewers, welcome to Plan B. I'm Anthony Kirori. Now, a wise man once said, the future belongs to those who see opportunities before they become obvious. Allow me to expound. In 1927, that's 95 years ago, the world population reached 2 billion. 33 years later, in 1960, it reached 3 billion. It doubled in 1998 to 6 billion. In 2010, 7 billion. This year, 8 billion. In the year 2050, it's projected to be 10 billion plus. Now, one of the greatest challenges at that time will be, how do you feed adults with 2 meals per day and children with 3 meals per day, daily, year in, year out? If that will not be possible, I believe we might have what we might call the last world war. Therefore, as we look into food security here in Kenya, we also need to have one eye looking into the future of the possible opportunities as well as averting the possible dangers that there could be. Now, I believe there are 3 things the current government, the Ruto government, should do. The first one is to identify and secure the agricultural lands. The second one, how do we improve the yield per acre? And the third one, there are very many people who are taking shortcuts that are dangerous to public health. So stern measures need to be taken against such individuals.
Kindly, Anthony, elaborate further on the same.
So when I talk about identify and secure agricultural land, we need the government, the national government and the county government, they need in every county to look at which areas can be used for growing crops, which are the agricultural crops. For instance, here in Kiambu, we've taken a very bad precedence. You will find people are constructing concrete jungles on red soil. We are building estates, flats, and factories on areas that can grow crops. That is dangerous. We continue at this rate. In the future, come 2050, when the population will have grown so much, our children or grandchildren will wonder, our parents and our grandparents, they must have been amazingly talented. How is that? They will be like, how could they have converted agricultural land to a concrete jungle? So they'll go on and say, it's sad, but it appears the past generation or the past generations, they were born a bit daft. But it's amazing how they expanded their birthright and they never looked into the future. Because now, what could be used as agricultural land will be concrete jungles. So what the government needs to do, like here in Kiambu County, they need to identify the places that food can be grown. What is proper agricultural land? And make sure that it remains as agricultural land and there should be no more construction of concrete buildings. There should be no construction of any buildings at all, to remain as agricultural land. Then, if you have to take here Juja, for example, maybe the way going towards Juja farm, there are some places with a lot of maram, many acres with maram, not ideal for agricultural, for growing crops. So such can be set for residential or commercial buildings. But whatever little of the agricultural land is remaining should be saved. And we should not mess it any further. The second point that I said is, we need to improve on our yield. Let me give you a practical example. The way we grow our onions, you and I, if we start growing onions, most likely we'll start in the first or 2 years, we'll be harvesting about 2 to 3 tons per acre. Then, when we become very good farmers, we'll be doing about 8 to 9 tons per acre. Do you know in Israel and even in Europe, they normally grow between 20 to 25 tons of onions per acre. So what is it that they are doing that we are not doing? So what the government should do, it should get the experts and bring them over. Let's say like here we are in Juja, set aside some land, maybe 10, 20 acres, to become like a place whereby people are trained. So day one, they want to train onion farmers. So if you're interested in growing onions, you go and you're shown. And you don't have to go everybody in your farm. You just send one representative. Day two, maybe it's carrots. Day three, tomatoes, whatever it is. So that we go there, we learn if you're interested in growing that particular crop. And first they'll show us what we are currently doing to get our 8 to 9 tons per acre. And then what we should do to get between 20 to 25 tons. Then we should do that for at least 2 seasons. After that, if I'm trained, I'll come back to our farm, and now I'll be what you call a TOT, a trainer of trainers. I'll now be training the other people within the farm. If we do that, in a very short span of time, we'll find that whatever it is that we are growing, we've more than doubled or tripled it. We are using the same land, same workers, but the technology is slightly different. Now, the third and the final point. Stern measures to be taken against people who are taking shortcuts, dangerous shortcuts. Sometime back, a few weeks ago, I went to visit a friend of mine. He was growing tomatoes. So as I was working in the farm, I was told, do not pass through a certain place, or rather where the tomatoes were. Why? They say there's something they were calling malathion, though it's actually malathion. It's a chemical that is burnt, but they get it from Tanzania through Oloitoktok. They apparently, from what I heard, some businessmen have colluded with government officers to bring it illegally. It's bought from Oloitoktok, and then it comes here, and then it is sprayed. Do you know when they spray, 4 to 5 days, nobody goes through the farm. Even a dog will come reach, and then it will go around. It won't go through. And then the farmers are very happy because the crops will be protected from all pests. Now, the interesting thing is, the growers, they do not eat those particular tomatoes. When I asked them, they said, apana, that's for people of the market, na watu wa Nairobi. Now, the funny thing is this. Those government officers and the business people who brought it from Tanzania, wherever it is, to Oloitoktok to sell it to the rest of the country, at the end of the day, they still go back to the same market. At the end of the day, they have relatives in Nairobi or other major towns. And that's why you're finding the cases of cancer, they are growing so high. So to reduce such, the government needs to come with extremely stern measures. If you are caught dealing in something like that, that should be like attempted murder. You should be jailed for life or for as long as possible. And of course, made to eat those tomatoes. So what is the plan B? 3 points. First, identify and secure the agricultural land. Second point, increase on the yield per acre. And the third point, stern measures need to be taken to anybody practicing something that is harmful to public health. That is the plan B with Anthony Kirori. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Anthony, for breaking it down to its finest detail. For any question or concern, reach us down through our comment section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. That has been Plan B with Anthony Kirori. I've been your host, Joy Mongi. See you next time.